Hello everybody, it's Zeidoktor here with Typical Manga Fan, and this episode of Typical Manga Review, to make up for our missing it last week, is going to be dedicated to two chapters of One Piece. Chapter 832, Germa Kingdom, and Chapter 833, Vinsmoke Judge. And we actually have color spread for both chapters, actually. The first one is very prominent with Nami on the side there with fans, like just water pouring down her. Oh, and the others are there too. Hi guys. Like Brooks got his priority straight. He's watching Nami.
Yeah, wait, water you said? Or
Well, that's what it looks like. She's pouring her water on herself, or as she's drinking it, going down her.
wait, where you look? Which one are you looking at?
At Nami, the bottle of water directly above her.
I don't see that. I just see
Are you on 833 or 32?
833. Oh, I totally forgot. We're doing the my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so 832. Yeah, let me look. Yeah, you're right. There's the water thing. Yep.
Yeah. Also, why join the Navy if you can be a pirate on the boat? Guys, I think the village people will want a word with you. In any case,
So
we're still
start back.
we're
Yeah,
kind
Whole
of
Cake
picking up where
Island.
we left off on Whole Cake Island. The forest is moving in, kind of messing up with the paths. Like they haven't been noticed yet. And we have like Nami,
And they're
Chopper,
running
and
away.
Carrot. Yeah.
Yeah, the Carrot, Chopper, and Nami are running away from what looked like a mink, but as Carrot points out, he's not actually one because he can't use the lightning technique that they're electro
Yep.
that they're saying. And so yeah, they point out that maybe he could be like a devil fruit user or something like that.
Yep.
And then she attacks him a bit more. He's actually she attacks the bird, and then what does she do? She like dash. It's like she throws the bird at him. Is that what she does?
Well, she electrocutes the bird.
Yeah, but then it looks like she's.
No, that just looks like he electrocutes her, and then the bird falls. And
Oh.
he just jumps off it. The other rabbit just jumps off.
Yeah, because he's on the bird. There we go. Okay, yeah.
And note here that that's the Big Mom Pirates crane rider Randolph.
Yeah. So I'm gonna assume that he's probably used like a devil fruit user or something like that. Or maybe he is a mink, but just doesn't use the ability. Like he was maybe raised somewhere else. Who knows?
Maybe,
Uh,
but it's the way Carrot phrased it in Viz, like you can't make Electro. So it sounds like
okay.
it's something that would be a natural ability.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, there's always even if you had the natural ability, maybe he's just not using it, or he's just not trained enough to actually use it correctly. Who knows?
Maybe.
But yeah, I'll probably say that it's probably not a mink.
Yeah, we're probably looking at like a hair fruit or something.
So then they see the giant.
The giant buried guy.
Yeah, who's all like, "Holy shit, what's you again?"
Mega Gaimon here.
Yeah, and then Luffy is still, facing off with himself, and then they basically they keep running away, but then what ends up happening is that they see the guy again. I think, yeah, they keep seeing the guy again, and so it's clear at this point that it's like one of those circles things, like it's like the Lost Woods from Legend of Zelda. I think you're just gonna coming back to the same place, or you get lost.
There's also a point while they're running away where like Luffy's like, "Wait, guys, it's not me," and then suddenly covers his own mouth.
Yeah.
And eventually, in all this, Nami finally catches sight of the trees moving around them. Yes, she also knows that their poses and compasses and clocks are all haywire.
Yeah. Why does he say that's? Oh, so he says that's not me.
Remember that right? He's not
I
making
know.
the double movements copy his, or the double can make his movements copy Luffy's.
Wait, do they have the right guy or they have the wrong one? I can't see this.
What side is the scar on? Right or left?
I thought the scar's on the left side, right?
The real Luffy is yes.
Yes. So.
Fun fact: if you actually look at their character designs, a lot of the Straw Hats have distinctive features on their left sides, or at least they have in the past.
Well, you see, so it's switched. Like the guys from when he says "got it," it goes down to the bottom right, where you see the scar go to the right side.
Mm-hmm. And also, the speech bubble looks like it's not actually coming from the Luffy that's covering his mouth.
So who's covering his mouth?
Luffy, the fake Luffy.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Okay, the fake Luffy's the one covering the mouth. Okay, yeah, okay.
At this point, Nami finally notices that the forest is actively trying to stop them. Luffy gets creepy and grabs her from behind, and transforms into a woman.
I see. I get the whole thing. No, that's not me now. Was it because Luffy, the original Luffy, did that, so that way the clone would shut up?
Or vice versa. Like Luffy was trying to warn them that it was the fake. They were with the fake, and then the fake Luffy covers his mouth to make the real Luffy shut up.
Okay, maybe. Is that what happened? I can't remember.
That's how I'm taking it.
I can't remember from this chapter. So right now, yeah, but they're with the fake one right now, right?
Yeah, at any point the fake Luffy turns into an older woman, like who laughs wee. I've been with you all along, running and unable to escape. Like, don't struggle now. Like,
Okay, yeah. I totally remember now.
yeah, we basically meet we basically meet Big Mom's 8th daughter, Charlotte Brule.
Who the hell is the first? She looks old.
Well, we kind of figured Big Mom was pretty old herself, so.
Yeah, but I'm just curious who the first is, you know. But yeah, so this is basically her domain. I'm assuming this is a reference to like the witch, like one of the witches in the forest or something.
Yeah, like a Wicked Witch of the West or something like that.
Or something like, or is it the one with the hands like Widow Witch?
That's possible too, given the Swiss thing they've got going with the outfits.
Yeah. So then we go back. We go to
the whole
court.
Cake Chateau, Big Mom's castle.
Yeah. And Germa 66. There's a Germa 66 coming in, and then we
basically learn how this whole country kind of works. Like, the whole nation is like, there's no land, but all their ships when they come together make up the country.
Yeah.
They basically assembled. They basically. Oh my God! It's like the Sentai thing. Still, they all combine to make one nation. I wonder if
Megazords.
I wonder if there's actually 66 of those ships.
Probably.
That would explain the name.
So,
then again, it does explain that the Germa 66 or Double Six is the military unit. It's nearly all its citizens are male soldiers, and their training is constant and never ending.
Yep. So Sanji sees all this, and then he basically starts talking with his sister, who's basically like, trying to say, oh, I'm your sister. Why don't you talk to me? And he basically says, I'm not your family, And then he looks at the picture of his dad, who has like conquered all these kings and shit like that. Four Nation Coup, I think it was called. And he says, he wants to rule the North Sea.
Viz calls it the conquest.
The North Blue. Yeah.
Real quick, Viz calls it the conquest of 4 nations, but same thing.
Yeah. Then what's Reiju? What's her name again? Reiju?
Reiju, you got it.
Yeah. Reiju is all like, look at all these, look great, good-looking maids, who would listen to you and all that shit.
Yeah, you got 10 headmen taking on your every word, and he's like, he is attracted to it, but it's like, no.
Yeah.
You're royalty,
he must hate his family so much to say no to the girls.
And it's like, you're royalty, brother. Let the soldiers do the fighting. No money issues to worry about. What's the problem? The Vinsmokes have earned that right through sheer power over the generations, and you have that blood in your veins. It's like.
So yeah, but then they had the father come in, and he's like, oh, you still being an ass. You still giving me a hard time, you punk. He didn't say that, but I've said it.
You still complaining, boy?
Then they basically, you can tell they're not on good terms, and then he's like, well, I'll have you know that. He basically surprised at the fact that he was able to beat up Yanji. Yeah. And Sanji just gets
real quick. One thing that doesn't come across, I don't think, is in the manga stream version, the Viz version. Like, Sanji tells him, "I have a father, but it's not you."
That's probably Zeph.
Oh, easily. That's the fact that he actually says it out loud.
Yeah. So basically, he then oh, let's take this aside. Men can clearly only speak to one another with using our fists.
Yep. And
well, that's a problem because Sanji uses his kicks with his legs. So.
Yeah. Also, real quick, the Viz version also refers to Judge. The manga stream says Jaji on this page here, but the next chapter says Judge, and Viz goes with Judge as well.
Okay.
Also, the Viz version refers to him as Generalissimo of Germa 66.
Right. So next chapter, One Piece chapter 833.
Vinsmoke Judge.
Yeah, and then we have this little cover page of everyone celebrating a culture festival, I think, or something like that.
Summer fireworks, etc.
A lot of goldfish, all that stuff. Yeah, basically. Going to the chapter proper,
actually, real quick, I'm glad that they have this now because I like to use the color spreads as my desktops, and with my nieces around the house, know that I'm not sure if I could have used the last week's.
Oh, you can just skip that one, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to use that one. I think. Anyway, they're making a big deal about a duel between Sanji and Judge. We also have Yanji, who's basically apparently being repaired more than treated.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So as we point out last chapter, Sanji beat the shit out of Yanji.
And Yanji's surprised because he apparently was expecting Sanji to be much weaker than him.
Well, I mean, they'll explain later in the chapter why that's there's
Oh
that.
yeah.
So basically everyone's like psyched out the fact that Sanji is actually stronger than they thought he'd be. Him and his father are fighting a bit. He's saying, "How dare you attack me?" Sanji's like, you're not my dad. And then actually, his dad says like, you are my son, which is kind of interesting because it actually contradicts what he says later on. But
Yeah. Well, some people I've seen a few posts that just like he's trying to at least pretend to be reasonable right now.
okay, yeah. So basically, it's like you can't get away from Big Mom. That'd be a problem. And he's like, I don't care. And then it's just an argument about whose family is whose, and there's a flashback to when when the three brothers, the Yonji, I forgot the other two's name.
They haven't been properly named yet.
I'm assuming it's like Niji and what's number one again? Shoji.
Ichi.
Okay,
one of my God, I think so. It might be one. I'm not sure about that.
I just remember that when they said the first Hokage, it was the Shodame Hokage or whatever like that. Yeah. I do know that Shodan is also like the first like ranking of.
It could be Shoji. We'll see.
Yeah.
But it has not been properly named yet. As
far as but we have a good idea. And so they were beating the shit out of him because he was cooking, and they're like, "Oh, royals don't do that." And it was shown that he was a weakling because he couldn't beat anyone.
Also, notice he's getting kicked into the wall hard enough to break it.
Yeah, so they're abusing him, and then Sanji calls out for his dad, and his dad doesn't give a shit. His dad's also with the sister, and I guess
the sister doesn't pay much attention either. Yeah.
Sorry?
The sister doesn't pay much attention either. Also, yeah. I just noticed here with this, like obviously you'll notice like each of the boys has a shirt with their number on it.
Yeah, 1 and 2. Yeah.
Also, Reiju has a Z.
Why does it have a Z?
Because Rei means 0.
Oh, I thought I said Yonji. Oh, okay. No. Because I was like, oh, it should be 4. Yeah, Z, 0. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense though because she's not part of the 1 and 2, the 400 system.
Yeah, and
being the girl, she gets the special number.
Yeah, and I think here it also seems to be implied that the 4 of them are quadruplets. Yeah, I think that's been the general assumption people have been making because they seem to be not too far apart in age.
Yeah, well, that actually kind of makes sense. He could still be older than someone else who was just born.
Plus, Japanese make a much bigger deal of that.
Yeah. So basically, they're abusing him. Even the sisters just doesn't give a shit. So clearly these guys are assholes. Yep. And so basically he's surprised that Sanji can actually use Haki. Mm-hmm. So clearly they don't give a shit. They think very lowly of him because of their past. Mm-hmm. But Sanji's obviously much stronger than they expected it to be. And I actually, people are actually surprised he's actually able to hold his own against his father. And when everyone's surprised, and he's like, why are you complaining about marriage? Oh, he's also mocking him about the kick thing.
Yeah. Like he actually gives Sanji the option to pick up a sword, but Sanji pretty much says that his hands are just there for cooking. And unless you're one of my ingredients to one of my dishes, I won't ever use my hands to handle a sharp tool.
Unless you make noodles with your nose, I'm not going to use my hands to beat you up.
Even then, he only ever attacked the noodle suit with the knife.
I know. It's just so funny though. It's just kind of disgusting now.
Oh yeah. Like legs and kicks are his recourse when it comes to combat.
Yeah. So first off, even if he did use a sword, he probably wouldn't be that good at it.
At least not compared to like Brook or Zoro.
Yeah, you need to have training with that shit. Also, he loses uniqueness because then he'd just be another Zoro. And at that point, we just kind of like, well, I'll just take Zoro over you then. So basically, his dad's like, what do you have to complain about this marriage, And he does like a Garuda technique, I think it's called. Oh, he uses a style called the Garuda. Yeah. And which is like he flies towards them or something.
Basically, he flies high and then dives down.
Well, that's what Kyoraku does. So then Sanji blocks it with his
Diablo Jamba.
Yeah.
Of course, I think he still gets kind of thrown down to the ground.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously his dad is not a weakling. And he says, war is what advances technology. So he's using like technology to basically attack Sanji. A blaster with in his shoes, all that stuff. Yeah.
Sanji has fire kicks. He has electro kicks.
And then he basically said, he as the father keeps attacking, Sanji asks him, did you think that he was being abused as a kid? Because he wants to see what his dad actually still thinks of it, if they've changed. And clearly they haven't, because he just summons a wall of people to stab through them.
Yeah. I think like one thing that Sanji just kind of know, he was like, should blood parents be viewed in some holier than thou light? Like, he never bothered giving that little kid a single decent memory.
Yeah. So, well, still better than Sasuke.
Well, yeah, his parents actually did care about him.
Well, I'm Sasuke to Sarada. No. The first thing you do when you say the first thing you say when you meet your daughter for the first time is, "This does not concern you."
Well, even so, he still cared about her. This is more than these guys can say.
Yeah. Still.
Anyway.
Still deadbeat father.
Like Sanji seems to be ready to use a whole. It seems like I think Sanji's using a stronger version of Diablo Jump as well.
I think it's a possibility that he's actually stronger than his dad, but because of this tactic that his dad used, he kind of like off with him, and he was defeated, and then it actually goes really quickly back to the sister.
Talking,
yeah, to just basically, oh well, you become so much more powerful, and he basically says, I don't give a shit about you, and then his dad basically says like, all these soldiers, they would sacrifice their lives for us, they're the ones who makes up our ultimate army. And he basically says that this is basically for our alliance, for our conquest and all that shit. But at the same time, though, the reason why it chose you was because you're expendable. You see, he actually says that he wouldn't actually let his other sons marry into the family.
Didn't I suggest this at one point? Like that's why they cared about Sanji, because like he was the off-put one or something. Well, maybe not exactly. I want to say
probably. I don't know.
I might. I want to say I remember doing it, but I remember at least making a connection to the fact that Sanji was like somehow like separate from everybody. So I don't know. That's how it was kind of useful.
So basically, he says like, you're basically, you're not even. He doesn't even consider him as a son. Just basically, he's like, well, you just happen to be of an opportunity for this type of alliance.
Yep. And then before Sanji can react to that, though, like Reiju has placed the thing on his wrists.
Yeah, basically this is the same thing that they use on World Noble, on the World Noble slaves. That basically, if he tries to leave the island, they'll explode. And this is actually a pretty big deal because that means he can't ever cook again.
Yeah, you'll basically be cooking with your feet, is what he says. Yeah. Like basically, there's some debate on this, like in a couple of the words, like if he can use hockey, how dangerous are these to him? But even if they can't necessarily blow his hands off, they can still damage him, like, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where the hands are so intricate that you really do need to. It needs to be perfect to really get the same quality. Because even if he can still make food for the rest of his life, it won't be as good.
Yeah, and even then, like, if there's anyone who could create a bomb capable of blasting through hockey, I figured these guys would be it.
Yeah.
Like, if we were told that Vegapunk, for example, had developed a bomb that could blast someone even through hockey power, we would not question it.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, the only one who has a key is Big Mom. So they basically had to beat her to get to it, which is. I mean, I'm not really surprised. I mean, she's always going to be an obstacle no matter what. This is just another thing that we had to get then.
Yep. Next, I do want to stand corrected here. I was thinking Germa made these, but it looks like Big Mom lent them to him.
Yeah. So that's the end of this chapter.
Yeah.
One of the things. So this is actually. I mean, these are good chapters because they talk about Sanji's character development and shit, and we learn why he's the way he is, and a little more about
the only thing we're missing so far is his mother.
Yeah.
Who I think a lot of people are thinking will factor into things like his feelings towards women, things like that.
My guess is she's probably like the nice one of the bunch.
She's probably also the one that they got their curly brows from.
Yeah. I don't know. I find it hard to get invested into these stuff because I subjectively I don't like Sanji and I don't care for Sanji, so it's kind of hard for me to kind of get into any of this.
In this case, I am kind of the opposite, but that's because of my own personal experience. Yeah. I've actually had an experience where, well, not like evil parents or anything like that, but it's like basically I found out I was adopted, so I've had to kind of wrestle with these kinds of questions before.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, but with Sanji, I've never really cared about where he came from. When I found out he was a Vinsmoke, I couldn't give. I really couldn't care. Care less. And now that we get learning, and I'm again subjectively, I'm gonna put out there. It's a subjective point of view, and so I just kind of read through this chapter. I'm like, okay. Objectively, it's actually pretty good because you have character developments. You have you see how you interact with them.
Yep.
And
And a lot of people have felt that Sanji has been getting treated like a joke for a while now, so this probably helps with that too.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I mean, again, objectively you can say it's pretty good. Subjectively, I just don't care. This is probably going to be a feeling I'll have for quite a while because this is the arc of Sanji. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Still,
Well,
I do like the fact that they are getting more and more set up. You're like, I wonder. Here's a question for you: do you think when it comes to finally fighting Judge in the future, who will eventually beat him? Do you think it will be Sanji?
Sanji. No, it has to be Sanji.
Yeah.
No, the big mom is Luffy's thing. Like that's not.
Yeah.
It would make absolutely no sense if Luffy was the one who beats Judge. It would make no sense because he doesn't have any connection to Judge. Like if you're looking about who's in true power though, you can say it's Big Mom. So that way it makes more sense for Luffy to go after Big Mom. But for beating up Germa 66 leader Judge, it just makes more. It's a character. It means more in terms of character for Sanji to beat him up.
I will say this: Oda is definitely raising the stakes bit by bit with this whole arc. Like it's supposed to be like what started as kind of like fairly jokey arc. He's been raising the stakes little by little. Like we got Jinbei, we got Sanji, we got Sanji's livelihood.
Well, I mean, it's going to happen when you have a Big Mom get into it. Yep. I mean, I never really saw it as a joke because
the road bunny glyphs.
Yeah, but I mean, keep in mind that. Yeah, the road bunny glyph. But keep in mind when they brought in Big Mom into this, and not to mention the massacre, not the massacre, but like the destruction of Zoe. It's just sort of like I never took it as a joke. I took it very seriously. I was like,
well, no, I mean not Zoe. I mean just this whole Whole Cake Island part.
Oh, the Whole Cake Island. Well, the Whole Cake. I mean, it's the first like 3 chapters. I mean, so. But whenever it got to Sanji though, it got really serious. So, yeah. I mean, I never, even then I never took it as a joke. I always took everything pretty serious. I was like, yeah, okay. You know, the joke is mostly with, and it still is with Luffy and the crew, because they're still in like Wonderland, basically.
Yeah, they're still kind of working their way there through they got to defeat like Kit Brûlé first. Right. Not really, like I said, we've been kind of covering this as we've gone along here, so I've got nothing special to add at this point, I don't think.
Yeah,
anything not really. Okay. In that case, that has been a review of One Piece chapters, let's see, where were they? Sorry, moved ahead a little bit. Chapters 832 and 833. Go ahead and take us away.
Bye.